For more, we're joined by Wits University International Relations Professor Gilbert Khadiagala. Professor, a very good evening. Thank you so much for speaking to us. This is not the first time that Raila Odinga has objected to the results of an election. Does he have a foot to stand on?
Can you repeat the question?
So this is not the first time that Raila Odinga has disputed an election result. He seems to be going back to the courts. Does he have a foot to stand on?
It's very difficult to tell because this was a very close and very contested election. And what he has to do now is to go to the Supreme Court, which is the court of last resort. And the Supreme Court will listen to the facts. And they will weigh the facts. First of all, they will have to decide whether the case has any validity for the judges actually to rule on. And then if they decide that in fact there is a valid case, then the court will sit and then deliberate, hear the evidence from both sides, the losers and the winners, and especially the Independent Electoral Commission, and decide, therefore, very quickly whether, in fact, they have a valid case. So I'm a bit skeptical at this point because, unlike 2017, when there were clear irregularities in the electoral process, here it's not very clear. And therefore, we just have to wait and see whether they have any case at all.
Well, Professor, if you'll allow me to come in there, one of the issues that has been raised by Raila Odinga is that Mr. Chebukati, chairman of the electoral body, went against 4 of his commissioners in announcing the results. Could that be an issue? Is there any validity in that?
Yeah, that has actually never been tested. This will be the first time. Case that the chairman of the electoral commission unilaterally, I think that's the accusation, unilaterally declared the results. And that's why you remember some of the 4 electoral commissioners, in fact, boycotted the entire process. So the allegation is that, in fact, the unilateral process is an illegal process. We'll need to hear what the court pronounces itself on this matter, how it does actually pronounce itself on this matter, because some arguments are there that, in fact, the chairman has that authority. So we don't know yet.
Well, let's go back 5 years where 3 of the 7 judges sitting on the Supreme Court panel that nullified President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election in 2017 are on that same panel, albeit there'll be 7 of them. Does this in any way offer hope to Raila Odinga?
Yes and no. I mean, it's almost a similar court, actually. So they may look at the same evidence and rule that, in fact, this is a continuation of the kind of malpractices that were there before. And therefore, that the Electoral Commission has never learned anything since 2017. The no part is, where is the evidence? And they have to weigh that evidence against the very facts that these 2 parties are going to produce in court. And that's why you see the Rutto side is still very fairly confident that they are going, in fact, to be declared, to be sworn in as the winners here.
Well, Professor, before we let you go, one of the key developments, and I suppose what we would call a positive development in this month where we are celebrating women, is that one of Kenya's youngest ever parliamentarians, Lynette Chebukati, has been elected. Now, that for us obviously is a huge milestone.
You see where she comes from, that region, the Rift Valley, is very, very, very progressive in terms of producing. Some of the leading Kenyan women have actually come from that region. So I'm not surprised that a young woman, 24-year-old, actually will be coming from the Rift Valley region. And that's great news for Kenyan women at large.
Professor, thank you very much. We were joined by Wits University International Relations Professor Gilbert Khadiagala. We appreciate your time this evening.